Hi there, I'm Professor Jurus and I wanted to make you a quick video and go over strobe color lighting. Now, strobe color lighting is nothing new to photography, although the techniques that I'm going to show you are a little bit different than what you're going to find if you Google them or look it up in any books. For the most part, when photographers use strobe lighting or strobe color lighting, they're putting one gel over a strobe and simply lighting the whole scene like that. Well, I'm going to teach you or show you how you can put a lot of different colors into a scene when you're taking a picture, so it should be quite interesting. The first thing that you want to do when you're doing strobe color lighting is you want to make sure that you have your camera on a tripod. So your camera has to be on a tripod. You're going to be using it on the bulb setting, and then you're going to be setting your f-stop to correspond to the exposures of the flash that's going off, and or the strobe. But this flash and strobe I'm using as the same word. So what you're going to do is get yourself a set of theater gels, and they have these at B&H Photo, and they're just a set of gels, and you can see I cut this out. And what I would like you to do for this assignment is to use red, green, and blue filter gels, and simply cut those gels to fit over your flash. Now, the flash that I'm using today is a Vivitar 283. And at the end of this video, I'll show you, I went to eBay to look for these, and they're all over eBay for 20 bucks. And this was never a very expensive flash, maybe $75 brand new, but they were a good flash. These were used on hundreds of weddings. A lot of wedding photographers used these. They had an awful lot of power. And you can also control the amount of light coming out of these. There's a little turning mechanism right here on the strobe or on the flash that you can turn to get full power, half power, quarter power, and you could start out with like full power and see how it does. And if your pictures are getting blown out or you're not really seeing the color, then maybe you could turn the light down to like half power, so that you could still see the light. And you can also double these up, like instead of having just one red, you could put 2 layers of red on here if you're not getting enough color. So you can see from what I'm talking about already that it's kind of an experimental approach. You really have to play with this and put your time into it to get a good picture. You're not going to get this done in a half hour, so you want to do that. And the nice thing about this assignment now, though, that you're using digital, is that you can see your results instantly. I used to teach this assignment with studio classes when people use slide film, and they would have to expose it, take the slide film to have it developed, get it back and see what the results was. They had to make really good notes so they could correct what they did wrong. And some of them took 2 or 3 rolls of film and cost them $100, in order to get this assignment right, and they did that. So, you should be able to get it easily with the digital camera. If you don't get what you want, then change either the exposure in the flash or change the f-stop in the camera. But what you're going to do is pick out a scene, and it should be in total darkness when you're going to do this. So you can do it out in your backyard, you can do this in a room, just about anywhere. But you want it to be able to be total darkness. And then you set your camera open on bulb. So you need to find the bulb setting on your camera. If you're not sure where that's at, consult your owner's manual, or just start playing with it till you find the bulb setting. It should be at the bottom of your shutter speeds when you go through on the manual setting. And what you're going to do is you may need somebody to hold the button down for you, to assist you, but go ahead and get everything focused and everything, and then turn the lights out. If you're doing this outside, I did some outside that I'll show you at the end of this video as an example. If you're doing it outside, you could use a flashlight to focus. You want to turn the autofocus off on your camera. It's on the lens usually. So you'll flip it to the manual focus, focus the lens, and then fire the camera on bulb, and you have to hold the button down to keep the shutter open. And then basically what you're going to do is go to one part of the scene and pop the flash. Now on the back of the flash on this 283, there's a little button right here that says test. On most flashes, that button is there. So you'd simply push that button and it'll fire the strobe light. And what you're going to do is, like I said, in most cases in photography, like when they do this, they'll just use like one light and light a person, maybe put some red on the side of their face or something. But what you can do when you're doing this in total darkness is you could fire off the red a couple times, go back and put a blue filter on here in total darkness. You have to have them all ready to go, like taped up and cut, and just put take one off and put the other one on, and then go flash another part of the scene in blue, and then go back and flash another part of the scene with green. You could also buy a couple of these flashes and just have them ready, like have one with red, one with green, one with blue. And for the price of them, for 20 bucks, I mean, you can't go wrong. For $60, you could have 3 flashes, enough to do weddings or whatever you may want to do in the future. And you shouldn't start to invest in your equipment anyway if this is what you want to do. If you want to be a photographer, start to buy equipment and buy good equipment. You can't buy these new anymore. I would tell you to buy them new, but for 20 bucks, I mean, what do you got to lose? And so then you're just gonna find a scene. If it was indoors, same thing, focus, turn the lights out in the room, and go ahead and you're basically painting with light, but you're painting with strobe light. And the results could be really phenomenal if you do it right. So remember, if the scene looks too blown out and you're really not seeing the color, then you need to close your f-stop down on the lens or lower the power on the flash. And if it's too dark, then you need to open the lens up on the camera or set the flash on a higher power. And that should about do it. Okay, hope that helps. Cheers. So before we look at a few examples of strobe color lighting, I just wanted to show you, I went to eBay and pulled up a example of the kind of sales they're having on these Vivitar 283 flashes so that everybody can get one. This one even has free shipping. So here's a pretty cool example of strobe color lighting that was done in a dark room with by Nicole Smith. And one of the interesting things about this one is if you look, you can actually see her in the picture with the flash in her hand. So some people like having that in there. It kind of adds to the process of the picture. You can see the flash right here. If you were doing this for a commercial job, though, you wouldn't want to have yourself in the picture, so you got to be careful about that. And here's an example done by Savannah Reel in the studio, and this may be somebody you know. But you can see the different colors going on. There's some green up here, there's mostly blue up here, or blue down here in the corner, and then the red up here. Again, it's sometimes better if the model's actually not moving than moving. It's kind of a cool effect right here. But if you look over here at the horse, when the horse is not moving, it's very still, and it's a lot easier for the viewer to read. I would also watch when you're doing stuff, and this is one of the things I talked about in the studio about other stuff being around, like this stool. You have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this stool in the picture? So you need to kind of really focus on the area that you want to photograph and watch for other stuff that's in the picture. Here's two different images that were both again done in the studio with strobe color lighting. These were done by Mara Marzoni, and you can see the different effects that you can get with the blue, the red, the green, and very cool pictures. Another student image. I really like the effect of this one. You could see the different colors of the light very nicely on the Bible here. And this one's a little bit pixelated. I pulled it off of the Flickr site of student work, but you can still see it's you can see the lighting effects on it. It had some very nice lighting with the blues, the red, the blues over here. They might have used some yellow in here too, but very cool. Nice picture. And here's another student work, and as you can see in this one, she's actually the model for herself, and you could actually see her face up here too, but you could see the flash in the picture over here on the right hand side. You could see the flash, and it does kind of create a cool effect of seeing all the different flashes and actually, seeing the flash in there a little bit for an artistic image. Nicely done. And we'll end with one of mine. Again, it's kind of hard if you have subjects that are moving. This is the same dog in both positions. I think I flashed her over here with the green light, and then as her name goes, I flashed her over here with the blue light. And I hope that helps.
step brighter.